Okay, so in last video we just discussed domain archaea. So in today's video we are going to start with bacteria ecology. Bacteria ecology and diversity. Okay, like these all topics are not very important, and like in this prokaryote chapter you need to know about domain, about bacteria archaea, their reproduction, their shape, their behavior, and these type of system. It's only prokaryotes are like very primitive, as I just told in last few videos. They're very primitive. This means everything is evolved from prokaryotes. So this means this chapter is like so year old, and even the ratio is given, it's like 3.5 billion years ago. This all have been studied, so it's like very old information, so it's not very important, but still we need to study. So like 3.5 billion years ago it's present, but I'm right. Sorry for that. Okay, so we are starting. It's like earth is also very old. Like how earth, that earth is formed, or it's like it's around, earth formed around how many year back? It was like 4.5 billion years ago is our earth. Okay, billion years ago. So look how like old is this. So this means the evolution of this planet and this atmosphere rise the life. Okay, this means if earth was not there, and what exactly was there before? It's like radiations, too much radiations, and there was like volcanoes too, volcanic, volcanic activities, but too much volcanic activities, radiations, and even oxygen was just presence. Oxygen was like unavailable, almost unavailable. Like if even it would be found, it was so little, was not enough for human activities. So it's like oxygen almost unavailable. Okay, then these earth are like evolved from environmental conditions, and before, environmental conditions were not very good. Why? Just because of these radiations, these volcanic activities, and oxygen was not present. Because for human survival, it's like oxygen is very important, but earlier it was not present, right? So the earliest evidence and evolutionary relationship, these all, this earth date were like very old, from 3.5 billion years ago. And yes, from that they were some colony, bacterial colonies, bacterial colonies. Bacterial colonies were present, and like as evolutionary proceed, fossil fuel record or that indicates bacterial colonies which were developed from like so many different areas of earth, was evolved from so many different areas of earth. And later on they started making their own food. It's like from here our life literally started. So started making own food. And how exactly they started making the food? Using carbon dioxide. It's like using CO2, and of course sunlight was present, because sunlight, volcanic activity, these were like too much present on very high quantity. So they started making their own food using carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and started using energy from harvesting from the sun, energy used from sun, simply used from sun. Okay, then we have, it's like after that they started making the food, then they were called as photosynthetic organism. From that we just got name and we just got information, photosynthetic organism. And then the process of this making food was called as photosynthesis. Okay, this was photosynthetic organism. And after that a stable, I mean when oxygen was, when they were utilizing carbon dioxide and sunlight, so they started making their, I mean the stable atmosphere was started being formed. Stable atmosphere was formed. When stable atmosphere was formed, so it's like activities like these, oxygen was produced, and these evolutionary life forms relation was formed. Life forms were started, I mean these all type of things were started. And then this mean oxygen was present. After that we, there was starting of oxygen breathing life. Our life started when there was a term oxygen breathing life. Because of course we breathe, and for breathing we just take oxygen and we provide carbon dioxide back to plants. Like from here our life was started. So from here like everything was just started for human life. Okay, so then it's like with the population was increasing, diversity of bacterial life was increased, and then they saw that there is evidence of few bacterial cells, and that evidence was from mitochondria and chloroplast. And chloroplast, mitochondria and chloroplast evidence was started. And the theory of these all was called as theory of symbiotic. Like this is very important MCQs too. The theory of evidence, evolutionary relationship, habitat, and these all information is called as theory of symbiotic. See, okay, so that's called as theory of symbiotic, and that was like evolutionary relationship. Endosymbiotic too, theory of symbiotic was that one. Endosymbiotic, theory of symbiotic, that's both like same. And from that it was sure that organelles are formed. Organelles like mitochondria and chloroplast were formed from bacterial cells. And these both like organelles, we have studied cell and its structure chapter, so you might know that for this we need, I mean chloroplast and mitochondria are like having own DNA. This means own DNA. They have double membrane. They have separate ribosomes. Not separate, but it's like they can make their ribosome, or like everything is like they can do themselves, but still they're dependent. Because when they make protein or they make ribosome, they made in very small quantity, and for survival they need a high quantity. Just because of that they're dependent on nucleus too. Otherwise they are called as like they are separate organelles which have their own DNA, own nucleus. These both organelles are like fully functional with double membrane. And evidence was started, and yes, they both were primitive hosts before everything like bacteria and these all were started. Prokaryotes like bacteria, these both are evolved from bacterial cells, and bacteria is like prokaryotes. Okay, so this was told that these both are prokaryotes, but later on it was proved that prokaryotes are evolved. This could be like very important too. Prokaryotes, just because they are arrived from bacterial cell, mitochondria and chloroplast, they were evolved from prokaryotes, and they have their own bacterial cells. From that it was proved that prokaryotes are evolved from oh god, sorry, It's like eukaryotes, they were evolved from prokaryotes. Even these both organelles can replicate their own DNA and do own division, reproduce like bacteria. Everything was similar, but just because they were dependent for few things on nucleus, that's why. So still they were it was proved that theory of symbiotic endosymbiotic theory possess from eukaryote. All organelles are arise from prokaryotes, and these all. So it was a basic information. So thank you for watching. Bye bye.